Hello, this is Easy, and I'm going to be going over bending and folding, and we're going to go ahead and select a pattern here, and we got options over here in the property editor, and it's called bending. Okay, this does not bend the mesh. What this does is help prevent the mesh from bending. Okay, you can think of this as more of a stiffening type of option over here. Now, I'm using version 2.63, and I'm using an older version is because I can type in extreme values and really make this stiff. On the newer version, you got sliders and you're limited to how stiff it can get. Maybe they'll correct that, and I hope they will, because it's a lot funner when you can really do extreme values. Alright, with that said, let's go ahead and simulate this, and we're going to do some comparison here. Alright, now we're going to go reset that again. I'm going to go ahead and hold the W key and pin this at the bottom. And we're going to select this pattern. Now I'm going to increase the value on this bending here, or the stiffness I would call it. Type in 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3. Now just this bottom one is going to be a lot stiff, and it's not going to bend as much. Top one's going to be as normal. As you can see, it's not bending so much. It's eventually coming down. I can go ahead and type in another 0 to really stiffen it up, keep it from bending. Alright, now these are actually like presets. Now fabric here, these are fabric presets, and they got different stiffness to them also. A denim fabric is going to be a lot stiffer than a silk fabric. So if I was to select the silk fabric, you can see how that works. And another thing is, okay, what comes in handy is, let me go ahead and what I'm going to do is select this pattern here, and what we're going to do is we're going to make this one kind of stiff. Alright, now like if some of these fabrics, when you try, let's say example, I have a collar and I want to fold it down, and I try moving it with the Q key, you can see it's really stiff. It's not wanting to, it's just too stiff. And if I want to soften that up, what I would do is just go ahead and either change the value here or switch it here. That way I can, when I move my fabric around, it's a lot easier to move around. And if I'm trying to fold a collar back in a direction, it's a lot easier to do. Okay. And a lot of times, if you're changing one value, and when you get done folding it back, you might want to set it back to the default one that you started with, because sometimes when one pattern has a different value than the other, it could jump around on you. It usually doesn't happen, but if you got extreme values, it probably would happen. Okay, that makes sense. And we can also adjust both values at the same time. If I was to shift click this one and go over to the bending here, let's type in 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros here, press enter key. Let's go ahead and reset that. Now let's pin that. You can see they're both pretty stiff. I'll shift click that, and we'll set this to cotton. Alright, now I'm going to go over folding. So we're going to select edit seam here, and we got the folding strength. Okay, this has the influence over the one on the bottom. Okay, the folding angle. So if I increase this, it's going to have the influence on the folding angle. And what the folding angle is, if I select it, move the slider to the right, you can see where the seam's at. It's going outwards. If I move it to the left, the seam is going inwards. Okay, depends which direction that this mesh is facing. Okay, if I type in 0, we get something like that. Now if I want to add a seam, we can go ahead and we're going to choose this internal polygon line, do something, let's say right here and right here. I'm going to reset everything one more time. I always like to reset that to make sure everything's working correctly. And then you can see right here, this is where my new seam's at. We'll select this and let's change the angle and a direction. Let's change it in this direction. I want to turn synchronize on just to make sure and turn it back off. Alright. Then I'm going to go ahead and select both of these patterns and I'm going to stiffen these both up and hopefully it'll start bending right here. Okay. And we'll go to bending, type in 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, and we'll pin it. And it went the wrong direction, but that's alright. That was just kind of a second guess here, and all I need to do is switch it back to the other side. So when I do that again, I will pin that out here with the W key, and I should start folding right here. It should folding out. Since I got it pulling outwards, that's where it should start folding. There it goes. And you can see how that's going to work. Anyway, I think that's going to wrap it up, and thank you very much.